Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, I'm Winda Marina Juwita. Here I represent my team with Ibu Dr. Pupu Nuriani MPD,
Ibu Ani Andriani MPD,
Bapak Teguh Ibrahim MPD. And the title of this presentation is Basis of Critical Theory for Developing Utopic and Emancipatory Youth Education. This is a hermeneutical study, so this is our presentation. Nowadays, the younger education is experiencing a crisis in various dimensions, ranging from identity crisis, an intellectual crisis, a financial crisis, a social crisis, and even a moral crisis. There is a strong suspicion that the current youth education pattern is plagued by neoliberalism, where the orientation is on the quantity achieved in number and following the needs of market commodities and employment, so that the educational process is clad with criticism of social reality and, of course, weakness the utopia emancipated life. This paper seeks to present a critical theoretical basis to be used as a fundamental reference for the development of utopian and emancipatory youth education, both in the realism of higher education or non-formal character development education. And let's talk about the methodology. This paper uses a qualitative research method with a literature study hermeneutic approach, which serves to analyze the essence of the critical theory paradigm and its implication for youth education. The unit of the analysis focuses on the principle of critical theory-based learning and learning. The book to be analyzed is a book by Stephen D. Brockfield with the title The Power of Critical Theory for Adult Learning and Teaching. We'll talk about the unit of analysis. The first one is the centrality of learning with critical basis theory. Of course, this is the top one, and then below there is challenging dominant ideology on contesting hegemony, unmasking power, overcoming alienation, learning liberation, and reclaiming reason. So here it is. The first one is challenging ideology. Critical theory views ideology as a widely accepted set of values, beliefs, myths, explanation, and justification that appear to be true, empirically accurate, personally relevant, and morally desirable by the majority of population. The function of this ideology is to maintain an unjust social and political order. Ideology does this by convincing people that existing social arrangements are naturally ordained and obviously work the good of all. Ideology does not mean free of criticism. In the view critical theory, ideology needs to be corrected starting from the philosophical to practical level. Ideological criticism helps us understand how we study political idea, morality, social philosophy in civil society institutions such as school, association, clubs, families, and network of friends. It also shows us that the construct and categories we use to make sense of everyday experience are ideologically framed. In the context of youth education in Indonesia, ideological criticism methods that are contrary to Pancasila should be presented, such as the ideology of communism, capitalism, or other ideologies that can undermine the identity of Indonesian people who have Pancasila spirit, or we call like Pancasilais. So the next one is contesting hegemony. Hegemony is a form of domination that triggers power without resistance and criticism. Today, hegemony uses subtle, structured, and systematic means. Hegemony can cause society to remain silent and to allow massive expansion of oppression and power. In a critical paradigm, youth education should be able to propose hegemonic contestation methods, invite youth to be compete with hegemonic forces, not submit to the authorities, practice being an intelligent, argumentative, and solution-oriented opposition. Okay, then we will talk about unmasking power. What is unmasking power? Unmasking power is a very important learning method for youth education. Why? Because young blood flows with very strong criticism, there is strong potential to reveal all the hidden veils in the power system. By opening the power, youth play a role in the opposition, which has power equal to the ruler. In Brockfield's opinion, he said that a feeling of power, having energy, intelligence, social change. When individual forces are seen to embed in collection forces, such as social class, culture, gender, race, social movement, then the possibilities for large-scale social change, even revolution, come alive dramatically. Critical theoretical understanding for adult learning should investigate how people learn to recognize the flow of power in their lives and communities, how they understand the power is written, to use one of Foucault's favorite terms. In their daily reasoning and action, how they try to direct it to serve the interests of many and not the few. Foucault called it a truth regime, and Rocky Gerung said it as belusukan akal sehat. When we talk about overcoming alienation, one of the most enduring concepts in Marxism is the alienation. We are alienated in Marx's view when we work and live in ways that extract from us who we really are. When we are unable to realize our innate creativity in the workplace, when the work we do leaves us too tired to explore that creativity outside work, then we are in a state of alienation that stands against our freedom. Freedom is possible only in a non-alienated world, one in which we can choose how to act in ways that have not been foreclosed for us. Hence, alienation is antithetical to freedom, and the abolition of the former is essential to the realization of the latter. Learning to cope with alienation is a critical theory-based youth education. Youth education needs to be given a wider public space to freely issue proposals, criticize power, articulate in the social future. This is necessary to increase self-esteem, hope, and utopia about future change. For the next slide is learning elaboration. Critical theory-based youth education should prioritize dialectical learning principle, where the teacher and student have the same position as the learning subject, who have freedom of opinion, free of responsibility. The meaning of free here is an effort to explore potential, interests, talents, and of course, freedom of opinion or politics. There is no restraint or silence in this exploration. So we talk about reclaiming reason. Critical theory-based youth education should prioritize critical reasoning activities in uncovering various problems in life. According to Brockfield, he said that to be able to reason, that is to judge evidence, make prediction, judge argument, recognize causality, and decide action for which no choice is clearly proven, is often seen as a sign of maturity. So, this is a final word of this research. Hopefully, this research has been convincing case that critical theory helps explain many of the dilemmas and contradictions of contemporary adult education practice. If so, readers will be less likely to ascribe this problematic situation to their own incompetence or the fickle whims of unpredictable fortune. Also, to put critical back into critical thinking by carefully elaborating one of the chief intellectual traditions that inform the discourse. We hope that this research will help relocate critical thinking and critical reflection squarely in the tradition critical theory with the explicit social and political critique and activities. This implies our hope that in exploring the critical tradition, we have argued convincingly that far from being an outdated perspective, critical theory is relevant as ever or dominated by global capital. We hope too that the insight of critical theory have been shown the direct relevance for understanding contemporary adult education practice, and for building a critical alternative. Alhamdulillah, that's all from us. Thank you for your attention. Sorry if I do a mistake. Hopefully we will meet soon in person until this COVID-19 ends. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.